But seriously, how cute is this hat? Like, I'm so excited. I'm gonna go thrift so many more hats. Welcome back to my nightmare. So I have this hat, right? Okay, look, I have this hat. I made it a while ago. By the way, if you hear that screeching noise in the background, my brother's doing laundry. And I fear for the life of our washing machine. But okay, I have this baseball cap, right? And I made it a long time ago. You can tell by the dust I haven't worn it. I wanted to cover up the logo, so I kind of sewed a flower crown onto it, which I thought was really cute. But unfortunately, I still never wore it. But then I got this dock worker's hat from Shein. I mean, that's what they're calling it. I hope I'm not calling it that and it's something that it's not supposed to be, but that's what the name of it was when I put it in my cart. So I got this brimless hat, right, from Shein. And essentially it's just a baseball cap with no brim, right? And I love this thing. So I was wondering if there was a way we could do something similar with this. Now, obviously, I don't have an exact purple canvas that's going to match the canvas on this hat, but I believe in us. I think we can do something cool. So the first things first, we're going to rip off the flower crown that I sewed on there. And I probably will put it back on there because I thought it was cute. This is the way you cut your fingies, cut your fingies, cut your fingies. This is the way you cut your fingies. Yeah, let's just go ahead and... I'm filming a whole bunch of videos today, so I've been apologizing for my broken laundry, like, all day. I don't know what happened to it. Like, it was working fine, and then I went to do my laundry, and it started making this, like, squeaking noise. And then out of nowhere, it started, like, not working. Now, when I bought this hat, I just thought it was a pretty color, and I thought, oh, I could do a DIY with it. And then I got it home and realized I don't ever wear hats like this. And then I also don't even know where that logo's from. So I want to save that band, but I think I'm going to have to rip it out for now, because I want to sink the replacement band in. Oh, this is going to be an endeavor, isn't it? It is. Where are my scissors? This is one of the best sewing tools I've ever had, because sometimes you don't need the seam ripper. You can just cut. If you can make a sandwich, you can sew a hat. Because when we go to sew this back together, we're just going to sandwich the new brim into the old brim. Well, I'm going to be doing this to, like, every hat I find at the thrift store. I'm not even going to lie about it. I want a Flyers one. Someone make me one with the Flyers. For those of you who are not in this country and don't like hockey, the Flyers are the Philadelphia Flyers. I used to live in Philly, and I really love Philly. And I feel partially responsible for the horror and wonder that is Gritty. I just do. What had happened was I moved away, and the Flyers, which was my favorite team, had no mascot. And I went back on this, like, beautiful sunny Friday, right? Beautiful sunny Friday. I went back to visit for the weekend for, like, the first time in 3 years since I had been back. And it was wonderful all weekend. And then I go to leave on Monday. And on the way home, I'm getting tagged on the train. It's raining. It's gross out. And I'm getting, like, tagged on the train, like, what did you do? By all of my friends. Like, I'm looking at Facebook and they're like, what did you do? And I was like, what do you mean? And they had, like, released Gritty that day. And at first everyone was, like, kind of mad about it, and then they were like, this is your fault because you left. And I was like, you're right, and I'm not sorry because I love him. He's amazing. I'll probably take that story out. I know I'm not actually responsible for Gritty, but it was a pretty funny joke between my friends and I for a while. So clearly, if this works, I'm gonna need a Flyers hat with no brim. Like, I'm gonna be at every thrift store everywhere looking for a Flyers hat. We're in Oriole country. I can find an orange hat and just paste a different logo on it, right? That's on brand for me. All right. And again, if this is somehow an accidentally offensive logo, I just thought the color was pretty. I had no idea what it meant. So that's why I was trying to cover it up. I was like, let's put a flower crown on there. Get rid of the brim, I guess, or save it for later. I don't know what you would do with it, but hey, you guys are creative. All right. So we have our hat. Just trying it on my head. Oh, it's kind of cute. All right. I think this is going to work. I think this is going to work. So let me just... I think this is what I can do. I'm going to use the pattern for the brim we took off. Perfect. Yeah, that's how it's going to look. That's okay. So we're just going to use this brim that we took off as a pattern for the brim that we want. So bear with me while I get some fabric. I'm back with pink fabric. Because if we're going to make this, we're just going to go all out hideousness on it, right? All right. Now, technically speaking, I should iron this. In a technically speaking sense of the word, I really should iron this, but we're not, so. Don't drop that. Now, all of the brims have these like little foamy bits in it. I have no foamy bits. Sucks to be me. But I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go along the fold. We're going to pin it. Can you see that? I don't think you can. Can you see that? Yeah, you're fine. All right. And we're just going to pin it down. I'm not going all the way to the end because I just don't feel like it. It's going to have a really big brim. It's going to be cute and it's going to be fine. Every time I see these hats though, like I like them a lot. I like them a lot. And I think they're cute. Like every time I see someone in them, I feel like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that hat is really cute. But I'm not going to lie. Doesn't it remind you guys kind of Jughead? Like I could do this with this hat and make it a crown instead of just like a regular hat base. And it would literally be Jughead's hat. Like, so I'm just cutting out a shape. And I'm eyeballing it a little. Remembering that I am going to have to put this back sandwiched in between. Alright, so we have our brim. What we're going to do is we're going to unpin all of this, sew this part, and then flip it inside out, okay? Hello, Nightmare, my old friend. I'm back to sit with you again. Sorry, my long story. Long story. But anyway, we are back. And we are back having sewn the two ends of our brim. And what I also did is I cut like a little angle so that you can turn it inside out. Because if you don't cut the angles on your corners or your rounded edges, they leave a lot of bulk. Whereas if you cut like this, it turns out kind of nice and neat. So that is what we're doing right now. And then I have my iron over here because we are going to iron it down. And what's really cool is I remembered I had fun foam from an ill attempt at making a puppet. So I do have something that I'm going to put in the brim to give it a little more structure and stability. Will it work? I don't know. I've never made a hat before. But we're going to try. I swear this thing that my mom got me is like really useful. So... my ex dumped me for a coworker of his. I mean, actually, technically, I dumped him, but it was like a mutual thing. It was really weird. Anyway, so when I moved out, I took his iron. He had a really nice iron. And I iron a lot of fabric, so I took it. But I will say it died this year, and now I have this Amazon iron, and I'm not thrilled with it. I'm not going to be honest. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, and I just don't like it. And I never thought that I would be grown up enough that I would have a preferred iron, but I do. And shout out to my mom for giving me this woolly ironing board thing that turns pretty much every surface into an ironing board because it's very useful. Alright. So you'll be able to see the blue thing through the denim just a little bit, but I'm not mad about it. I'm a little annoyed, but I'm not mad about it. So what I'm going to do, how did it was just sandwiched on there before, so I'm a little bit like, I guess I can just sandwich it on again. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pin it into place. I know I want it to end up kind of over here. Just make sure that that works, looking like it does pretty well. I need like some of those like, oh, do I have, no, I have 2. That's not enough. I was gonna say I need like some of those clamps, like for days when you don't have pins or you can't use pins, you need clamps. So I will baste that on. So I'm going to run a straight stitch along that edge, and then I'm going to come back. Oh yeah, probably should have looked at how the Velcro was attached before I took it apart. Alright. Alright, so we're going to baste all of this together with a single stitch. And then we're going to come back and do a sandwich, essentially. There we go. So, yeah, okay. Basting all of this together with a single stitch, and then we're going to come back and we're just going to sandwich this guy back into place so that he flips up and under. I'm not going to show you because I don't feel like it. So, see you later. Well, friends, mistakes were made, but I think I can fix them. So, I didn't sew the lining thing on, and I was too lazy to seam rip it out, so I ended up cutting away part of the brim, and I'm just going to see if I can iron it to do what I want. It should be doing what I want anyway, but, you know, should and are usually different things, so. We're going to see if we can iron this in place. And then the Velcro was attached nicely before. I don't think it's going to end up attached nicely this time, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think I might unfold the brim for a second. Iron it. Okay. I smelled dinner and I thought it was my iron on fire. So I might just kind of like, I don't think you can see it, just fold the brim down for like a second, and then when I have it where I want it, flip it back over and fold it back up. So hopefully this works. It'll be a really cool video if it does. Getting it wet because I want it steamable, I want it malleable. And geez, jeezy peasy, pray for my fingers. I hope I'm not melting that foam. Like, I don't know the melting point of fun foam, but guess what? We'll find out, won't we? Here we go. It's starting to do the thing. I'm also melting the foam though, I can smell it. So be careful when you're doing this. Maybe use actual hat maker material and not fun foam. Sometimes I have to like stop halfway through and be like, can I just make sure this is working before I keep doing it? Use real hat maker material and not fun foam I found in my bedroom. But hey, it's working. It's doing the thing. I'm probably gonna have to hand sew that lining in, but you know, sometimes things happen like for a reason. You know, I think the fun foam is melting. And now the heat is mostly gonna be on the inside of the hat, so hopefully it'll stop shrinking. My mom's gonna be like, I smell burning plastic. What are you doing? And I'm gonna be like, ruining my iron. I should know that fun foam melts. I had to make this chess piece. There was a play that I was doing costumes for, and it was a steampunk play, and I essentially made like an Iron Man looking steampunk piece for this guy to wear. I was inspired by brute force leather. It was made out of fun foam. It did not look anything like any of brute force leather's work. But yeah, so I tried to hot glue the piece to the fun foam, just, you know, to try and make it work. It didn't, and it shrunk the fun foam. Fun foam does not love heat, I'm not gonna lie. but you work with what you can. Now, the next part of our conundrum is going to be how... first off, we're going to have to go ahead and sew that down. And since the brim is going to be covering it, I might just do it with the machine and have a contrasting stitch. Because honestly, the brim's going to cover that part anyway. And then I'm going to put the Velcro back on the back so that it can close. And then we're going to find a patch or something to put over that really bad logo. And when you see this again, it's going to be a completely different hat. Well, we're back because I can't leave well enough alone, and my friend told me that this is apparently a Waluigi logo. And I don't want to look like Waluigi. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to, but I just don't. So I've got this batik fabric here that my mom got me last year, and I'm just kind of like eyeballing it a little. I'm just going to cut a square of it. If you hear that banging, it's definitely my washing machine. We're just going to like kind of eyeball it. We have a lot of really nice quilting stores near our house, so sometimes she buys me scraps because she knows I use them for things like this. And I love batik fabric. I just never buy it because it's usually really expensive. Like, you know, for me, because like when you're plus size and you have to make a dress out of something, you're looking at like 2 to 5 yards of like fabric, and that can be a little pricey sometimes. So I'm just pressing in the corners of my fabric. Oh no! And you probably should always have a pressing cloth, but sometimes I don't. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I don't. Is this a good size for this hat? I think that is. That's cute. That's really freaking cute. Does kind of run into... Let's see if I can get it just a little bit smaller, because it does kind of run into the the grommet holes. I definitely owe my parents a new one at some point. Is this a good time to mention my Ko-fi? Like, please go donate to the Ko-fi. Like, I call it coffee, but I feel like it's supposed to be pronounced Ko-fi because it's K-O-F-I, but I pronounce it coffee because the guy said he thought of the idea because of buying an artist a coffee or some stupid marketing story that we all know is not true. There we go. And then we're going to sew that down, and then we're going to show you the hat. I think that's super cute. I think that's so cute. And this is called How Many DIYs Can I Wear in One Video? Because we've got the earrings, I made this dress, and now we've got the world's cutest hat. I love this hat so much. I'm so excited about how it turned out. Like, look at this hat. If you like this video, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing it with a friend. Go outside, get a snack, drink some water, take a nap. Make sure you're staying on top of your self-care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!